Good evening, YouTube. What's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and welcome to the Shadow and the Blade. I can finally show you more. Soon, anything. Today, what I am allowed to show you is both of the new DLCs on the campaign map, no farther than turn 50, okay? And we're gonna have a little fun here. I don't really want to try and cram both of these into one video because then I feel like I'll be walking over something. So I'm going to take a look at Malus today. Tomorrow I'll come out with a little bit about Snitch and then others stuff. We'll see. We'll see you then. Anyway, so Malus. Let's talk a little bit about his start positions, okay? When you're playing the Vortex campaign, well, first let me run down his faction traits and his starting difficulty, and then I'm going to load in and show you where he comes in on the Vortex campaign, and then I'm going to load over to the Mortal Empires campaign, show you where he starts, and then I'm going to load forward to a Mortal Empires campaign where I'm already 20 or so turns in a fairly challenging position, so that you'll have something fun to watch. So let's run through everything here. So, race attributes. He's a Dark Elf. And Black Arcs have had some rework. They're different now. You can attack ports and stuff with them. They're definitely a very nice unit. So Black Arcs, more powerful now, and he starts with one. So Zarkon, that's one of the things you're going to have to deal with in the Haggrave campaign with him. Suitable climates, mountain, jungle. He's possessed with a demon all the time. And you have to control it with the use of elixirs, which means kiss your money goodbye, and that's probably why the initial challenge on this campaign is hard. You will have some starting battle difficulties, but basically it's kiss your money goodbye with elixirs, and you'll see why it makes it very challenging. You start with a military alliance with Nagarond, and you also start in control of Haggrave, but you've also got an expedition away from home, far away from home, like opposite side of the map, so you get to make a choice right when you load in. For whatever reason, mines and quarries give you 30% more income, so I guess that Malus really likes to get a hold of his marble and his mines. He gets a big upkeep production for Cold One Knights, Dread Knights, and Chariots. Alright, same thing with recruitment costs. So that's his basic faction overview there. He starts with this Blood-Racked Medusa, which is a very, very good unit early on. One, it has magic damage missiles, which can be good if you come up against anything ethereal. They're armor piercing. The weapon strength is armor piercing, and it causes fear and terror. And early on, this is a huge deal. You can use this to break up melee fights early in the campaign. You also start with a Scourge Runner Chariot, which is a very quick chariot that fires armor piercing anti-large missiles, and then in melee does anti-infantry bonus damage. So, pretty nice unit to start the game with, and you also get a unit of Cold One Knights. You've seen these before. Again, a very nice unit to start with. Alright, let's jump into the Vortex map, and then we'll go over to Mortal Empires.
Zarkon, a demon cruel beyond compare, imprisoned by fools who sought to harness his dark might. All soon perished. Still, the demon could not slip his chains. Millennia passed, then mortal greed found him once more. The drinker of worlds was loose. Yet, in a twist of fate, Zarkon's liberator became only another cage. Raging at their undesired bond, demon and host enact vengeance upon this world. All shudder, save for the Skaven. Deep in their under-empire, noisome warlords plot to seize this hell-sent power. The Eshin Master Assassin must hunt it down, else lose his Night Lord's capricious favor, a fate every Skaven fears. So Snikch's poison blades will find their target, whomever it may be. The Witch King knows well where Zarkon lurks, for its host dances to his tune. Malekith promises the elixir to subjugate the demon shade, if the fabled scrolls of Hecate are first brought to him. Zarkon's possession has cost Malus Darknlade dearly. He cannot refuse. To the rat-infested Southlands he must go. Rat Deathmaster and Druki Tyrant, bound for battle, but neither knowing it yet. All the world will quail when Shadow meets Flayed.
Though Hagriff remains under my control, the Witch King has dispatched me here to gather the scrolls of Hecate. Aha! I must quieten my mind and let nothing distract me. Just off these shores, a black ark stands ready to unleash devastation upon my enemies, here and across the waters in the Southlands. The jungles and mountains of this place appear to house many sites of arcane power. I shall harness them for my lord Malekith, and he will grant me what was promised. Shut up, demon! Curb your thirst for souls. The Asur are mine to annihilate. The islands will not protect them.
My affliction is both a terrible curse and an immeasurable source of power. But soon I will have greater control.
I will do what I must to ensure that I return to Nagaroth in triumph.
I know you love the power I brought you.
No, not now. Not now!
So here we are on the campaign map for Vortex, and as you can hear, Malus is in a constant struggle with the demon.
Darkblade!
At times the screen will just start to like fade purple on the edges and it'll start speaking in your head. It's pretty cool. It adds a really neat feeling to it all. So it comes in and tells you how Zarkon play, or sorry, how Malus plays, having to fight off Zarkon, and it's crazy. So this is your possession meter here. It starts off all the way full, which gives you a huge ward save. You can transform into Zarkon, but lords may gain disloyalty or may lose loyalty points, and you basically can't replenish whenever this is there. And the only way to bring this back down is to use these elixirs, and you can see it's 500 gold. That gets more expensive pretty much every turn and every time you use it, so it gets very, very expensive over time. I've played... Here you go. So you're just playing, and you got Zarkon in your head. It's pretty cool. It's really cool, actually. Wish they would have done something like this with Luther Harkon. You got like all the crazy voices in your head. In any case, you get these elixirs from Malekith. He wants you to deliver the scrolls of Hecate, which you can see here. Once you deliver them all, you're free from the cost of that elixir. I haven't gotten to that point yet, so I don't know exactly what it's like, but I do know that that's how it goes. There are some missions, Zarkon's Whispers here, and you can complete these missions as they pop up. Slaves, just like the rest of the Dark Elves that you have to deal with, and the Scrolls of Hecate. You start here. Let's hit the map. So you start in the Sea of the Dread, in this... Sea of the Dread province, fighting against the Asur here. Why am I getting tongue-tied? I have no idea. Anyway, so you're fighting against the Asur, as he mentions in the beginning. I guess I can't talk because...
more merciful punishment than this.
I guess I'm going crazy too. You start with a Master, which is a new Dark Elf hero that has very nice damage versus large. It's armor piercing, anti-large. Great unit to support Malus. I almost said Malekith. You also start with Admiral Leech here. in his Black Arc, and you can see the Black Arc obviously is similar. It's got its big radius there, that dotted line. It can support you to heal faster, it has bombardment spells, it can be developed, and it can attack port settlements. See? You can actually attack, which is pretty cool stuff. So you can blockade, you can attack, you can do whatever. Anyway, this is what you're up against in the Vortex, okay? You start here against the High Elves, and you work your way into the Southlands and, you know, fight however you want at that point. Go fight whomever you want. You also start with Haggrafe, and a turn or two in, you basically get faced with this dilemma of, do you keep Haggrafe and defend it and try and fight in two places at once? Or do you give up Haggrafe and get 20,000 gold and 50 growth per turn for a long while to support your expedition? I find it fun to just kind of get rid of Haggrafe. That's just me. It's up to you. You can stick around and do either one. So it's kind of a cool way to play. You can be a little more mobile and focus on the other side of the map. You can focus on both. Or you could always just bring Malus home and focus here if you want. Be a long sail, but you could do it. So anyway, that is the Vortex map, but I'm more excited about Mortal Empires, and I will show you why. Let's head over there.
Hail, illustrious scion of Haggrafe. Though you are far from home, I will serve you just as you serve the Witch King. You are in unfamiliar climes. Do not allow your dark ambitions to remain suppressed. There is great wealth to pillage here in the Dragon Isles. The strange beasts that thrive in its jungles have yet to encounter a tyrant such as you, my lord. Beyond these isles, an ancient desert kingdom of the Nehekarans lies across the sea. Your Black Ark stands ready to support any invasions you wish to instigate in these lands. To the north are more lands of the undead. Tread carefully here, my lord, for this is Nagashisar, location of the throne of the supreme sorcerer himself, Nagash. Go now, Darkblade. Bring your tyranny to these lands, and make all bow to your rule, or otherwise crumble before your demonic powers.
So I don't know if you all caught some of that. By the way, welcome.
Get out of my head, damn you!
Exactly, demon. Leave me alone. I'm trying to talk. They added to the Mortal Empires map, folks. They added to it, and you're seeing it here. We've got the Dragon Isles, and then there's lands to the north of us. So where normally Lamia over here was kind of the edge of the map, we've got some new additions. And up to the north of it, you can imagine this is where Game 3, north and east, is going to come into play. So they definitely feel like they're hinting towards how this is going to potentially be connected into Game 3. And then they mentioned Nagash. We see him in the game? Sounds like it. Maybe. I don't know. Like, there's no guarantee, but it kind of sounds like they're hinting at it. Anyway, I say Haggrafe. Sometimes I just want to say Haggref, and then they say Haggrief. I don't know how you pronounce it, okay? Haggrafe. I'm going to say it the way they said it. Anyway, it gets confusing, like hearing it said 10 different ways. This is how you start on Mortal Empires, and it's a tricky start for a few reasons. One, you got to spend a lot of money if you want to replenish and use this elixir. It's going to cost you a lot early. Two, you're fighting against the Lizardman faction that can recruit full stacks of crap really quick and can make life miserable for you very quickly. Things you have going in your favor. Well, you got Admiral Leech still and his Black Arc. This thing's going to help you replenish faster. It's going to help you recruit units. The upkeep on the units for this Black Arc are significantly lower than if they were in a normal army, and he can spam out Black Arc Corsairs with Hambos and regular ones and other units very quickly. He can help support you as you're going along because you can recruit from the Black Arc. When it moves into this stance here, you can recruit from it. So see, I'm able to recruit the units that Admiral Leech has available to himself. So this makes it potentially a real power play for you, and it has the bombardment spells and stuff. So just a couple quick tips for getting started with Malus early, and then we're going to skip forward into one where I'm a little further along in the campaign so you all can see some of the challenge that I'm facing in that campaign. It has been challenging, maybe because I'm doing it wrong, but early on, you got to shut down these lizards. You should get in here attack them quickly. In some ways, like, I almost kind of think that it may be best to recruit up a little bit of an army first, more so than this, and then attack these guys. Just watch out, though, because if you do come after them, like if you leave Admiral Leech too close, they'll sometimes sail out and try and destroy your Black Ark early on, which really kind of sucks. So you want to keep both these forces together. If you knock these guys out early, they're just going to start spamming out a replacement army, and it'll be a full stack. It'll be an absolute mess. So you got to figure that out early. I think it may be better to just kind of back up a little bit, recruit a few units, attack these guys, and there's another settlement on this island. This one, they're connected by some low water crossings here. Once you get those, there's a low water crossing over here to where you can fight the new Greenskin tribe that's here and make your way to the lands of the undead, or you can use your Black Ark to escort you straight over to something like Lamia. You have a lot of options. You need to get some trade early on, and Naggaroth, or Naggarond, doesn't necessarily have the ability to trade with you if you give up Haggrafe, so you will get a lot of money if you give it up. But if you give it up, you really don't have a good way to trade with Malekith, because you're connected to Naggaron here. They do have a port. Assuming that you get that trade agreement and you have a port, you can hold it. But if you'll notice over here, it's kind of strange where you start in the Dragon Isles. This is a port settlement, but it doesn't have a port in it. And you'll notice that whenever you take it over, it's got a special building instead. So just be aware of that. If you choose not to continue to use Haggrafe, that's what happens. You still got your Zarkon's Whispers here that you have to deal with as you go through it, and it's the same possession meter here. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump forward and just start playing some campaign, and I'll show you what it feels like. Okay, so this is a number of turns later. I took out the Lizardmen faction. It was a bit of a pain, but nothing crazy challenging. And then I've had to come fight a few battles against the Greenskin factions here. Now, this battle would auto-resolve fairly well for me, so we're going to go ahead and do that, and I'll kind of show you the challenge that I'm up against, regardless of getting up here and taking the Haunted Forest from him. We lost one Dread Spear. Nothing too bad. We'll occupy it. I love that kind of purple haze around there when the demon's like toying with you. Anyway, we've hurt the Greenskins here. They don't have a home settlement, so they're starting to suffer attrition. The money it got very dire. I had to overextend myself to get rid of a huge lizard army that they had re-recruited down here, and I did get rid of it, but I was running in the negative big time. I had to get rid of Haggrafe in order to pull that off. So I don't really have a way to trade with Malekith at the moment because I don't have a port settlement, and I really need a port settlement. So we're gonna have to make our way and find one because we just don't have one at the moment, as mentioned. So anyway, I'll pick up here. There's another really big change in this rollout that I want you all to see. I did get a fire sorceress who's on her way to join me. The turn-ins are so much faster, and look how much these elixirs cost me. We're 34 turns in. Now remember, I can't go past turn 50. So if I stop, that's why. It's already cost me bloody 1,400 gold for an elixir. It starts at 500. Very expensive. It hits you straight in the wallet to have to deal with this. And so it gets rid of all of it this turn. You can push this button to go to full possession if you need it. It's only available every 40 turns, obviously it tells you here, so I mean, use that wisely if you think you really need it in a battle, because it can save your butt in a battle. Now, I focused a little bit on my infantry early on, getting a little extra campaign movement, and then we do have these abilities up here that we can use as far as like making Malus Darkblade stronger while he's fighting. So he has this special tree up here, which is the Waking, and it says each sip of the elixir is a harsh reminder of what has become. So this basically drops the cooldown on his special abilities, and then pain tolerance, you can see what it does for him, more melee defense as long as he's not transformed. And then he gains the stock attribute as long as he's not transformed, and he gets better chance of intercepting and ambushing The Slumber is going to make the cooldown of Zarkon's abilities faster, and it allows him to cause terror while he is transformed, which can be very nice. And then you get this casualty replenishment rate for the Lord's army, which is very for Lords in his army, which is nice because when you transform into Zarkon and he eventually kind of withers away, you come back with like 1 HP after the battle, and you're gonna need to get built back up a little quicker. He's got some other special abilities here, Beast Tamer, which puts some special focus on Cold One Knights, Dread Knights, Chariots, charge bonus for Harpies, Hydra, Charybdis, Black Dragon, Feral Manticore, Bloodrack, Medusae, all kinds of good stuff there. You got your Ward of Cain, Word of Hecate. They seem pretty typical. And then Drakau Tyrant here, chance to gain loyalty, extra public order, drops the upkeep. All kinds of helpful stuff here. Extra campaign movement, less attrition, vigor loss reduction for cold ones. So all kinds of cool special stuff. And at rank 15, this weapon strength plus 20% when fighting against everything. That's pretty cool. It's going to make him quite a bit stronger. You can see it would already pop him up like 90. So pretty awesome stuff. Anyway, lots of cool abilities to use with Zarkon, or sorry, with Malus. They're one and the same at this point. I'm going to get this Drakau Tyrant here so we can get the upkeep drop, the extra public order. We're going to need it. And then here's the Master character that I've had. He's been very helpful so far. I could put him on a cold one, but it's honestly, it just gives him a little more armor and slows him down. I'd kind of rather him just be on the Dark Steed right now, because just the damage thing, I don't really need this. We can do this martial Name of Power, which is fun with any of the Dark Elf characters. We get to choose a name that improves their skills. So let's do that. Hailing from a distant land, a famed warrior comes, offering to teach his fearsome combat skills to your army. After you accept, the warrior explains the lessons which he asks, do you wish to learn? So we can do Harness My Spite, and he gains Spite Heart as a title, and that allows a faster cooldown to Deadly Onslaught, Foe Seeker, and Volley of Dark Arrows. Or we can get the Hand of Wrath, which gives him 60 charge bonus and the Bloodlust ability. I think I'm going with Hand of Wrath. So, Maliner, the Hand of Wrath. And he is going to have an absolutely beastly charge bonus at 120. Woo, I love it. He's going to be a monster killer. Definitely looking forward to that. So, our army is pretty weak. Money is very short, and we need to start expanding. I do have some semblance of normalcy going on in the Dragon Isles, though, and we're building up our settlements, so this is good news. It's good news. This special building gives you gemstones and income, which I need badly, but more importantly, I really need some trade. You can see the public order is actually really nice off of this as well. Very expensive investment, but it's also a pretty nice potential payback over time. Let's see, there's nothing at Haunted Forest. I do want to keep this building momentarily until I can train in some more units. I've got quite a few Dread Spears. I think that I'm going to trade out my standard Dark Shards for those with shields. I kind of hate getting rid of the chevrons, but, you know, actually I'm not going to get rid of them. I'll dump them after we recruit these, because you never know when the enemy's going to like just kind of pop in on you. Bleak Swords, or I kind of just want to stick with Dread Spears. I don't know. These guys have more melee attack, so it may not hurt to have some with some melee attack since we're fighting against potentially undead and low armor greenskins and stuff like that. So here comes the part I'm most excited for. I don't want to spend this money right now. I'd kind of like to save it, but watch the turn end. This is the biggest change in this whole DLC and update. You seeing this? Oh, I forgot to turn that off, but in any case, let's just watch. Even though it goes all the way across the map to look at the Exiles in the Heck, watch how fast the turn is for Mortal Empire. Huge reduction in turn-in time. Huge reduction.
News of your conquest spreads far and wide. Your developing power is noted by even the most distant of kings and bestial lords.
Alright, so we completed a chapter objective, giving me some much needed money. take a look at what I can do next here.
And I didn't hear that.
You heard it. You know you heard it. Love those voices in your head.
Stay away.
So, see, we are definitely running short of money. I did lose my Black Arc earlier, which was frustrating, and I want it back because the bombardment abilities are very important. We can bring Admiral Leech back. He was killed by a huge lizard army earlier, but of course you can see that from an upkeep standpoint, you know, things are rough. Things could be better. Let's roll. Actually, let's see if there's a. See, Harpies, Witch Elves. We have a Sorceress. This does give us access to more Blood Rack Medusas. They're just so expensive. I don't think I can upkeep any of them right now. Gives us a Dark Sorceress Garrison, Harpies, and Scourge Runner Chariots. Now, that would be handy. And we do get Animal Cages as well if we unlock that. Oh, man. I'm going to go with the Harpy Roost. It's going to take up a ton of my money, and I'm also going to build this here, which rip the rest of my money. Is what it is. We're just going to have to deal with it. Let's go ahead and upgrade to the Dark Tower here. I probably should have saved a little bit of money. We're gaining 1 possession point per turn. That just gives you an idea of how often you're going to have to be using these ridiculous elixirs that are so bloody expensive. I need to get my Black Arc up here to help me replenish, and we got to go pick up more territory, win some more battles. Deathmaster Snitch is still to the north of us here too. May not be a bad idea to take him out before he becomes a big problem. He was obviously struggling with the greenskins here. Upkeep, income from sacking settlements. Let's do that. That could be handy because we may need that income. Again, enjoy this sweet, sweet turn-in time. This time I'll make sure you don't have to see the Exiles of Nehek. Let's go to individual factions. So many dang factions. I do want to see my enemies moving, but I don't care about the Exiles of Nehek because they're way up north. They're not in alphabetical order. That's actually really irritating. I know that from a turn standpoint, they're going very early on in the turn. There they were. Off. There we go. Enjoy the turn end. I love it. It's so much faster. And I've talked to some of my peers who are also in the partner program with CA that have this early access. Some of them don't have a computer as fancy as mine, and they say it's still way faster. They're still seeing that improvement. Look, this is Mortal Empires. Look how fast it's going. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. I can't applaud CA enough for this change. It is a really, really welcome change. It's been needed for a long time. And very nice to see it happening this way. We need to burn through a couple more turns until we're able to get the support of this Black Arc. It's going to be important to us. Malus has picked up another skill point. The last time, you know, we picked the Dracow Tyrant. This Cold Heart thing, Cold Heart could be good. We don't want any attrition. Vigor loss reduction could be a good thing. So let's do that as well. Clan Rictus is attacking Naggarond. I'm going to just continue to keep Naggarond as my ally. Hopefully we'll ward people off from wanting to declare war on us, even though they're nowhere near us to protect us. You see these whispers popping up here too. Raise or sack the following number of settlements, 2, including Mount Greyhag and the Fortress of Vorhag. So Mount Greyhag is here, Fortress of Vorhag here, and we get this Nagaira. Wow, it's a huge magic reserve buff. That is actually really cool. This other whisper, be at war with Karon Kar. We get 950 slaves. I guess, like, I'm not really feeling that one. It's not really a huge deal for me. But I guess that's the that's supposed to be the pull that Zarkon is having on Malus at all times. We're still out of range for the Black Arc here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and double time it forward.
Stay away,
Let's burn through another turn in here. I still haven't gotten over just how fantastic these turn-ins are. Absolutely fantastic. We're gonna go fight Deathmaster Snitch. He's just to the north of us there. It should be at Flayed Rock. This is not ideal territory for us to be conquering. Definitely think that it'd be more fun to probably go for Lamy, but this is the direction I went at the moment, and you know, I'm sticking to it. Made my decision, now I'm gonna own it. If you go into this Dread expansion stance, you can see that that picks up the replenishment of your army much faster. And our army should be substantial enough to fight some Skaven. I'm not sure if I need this many Dark Shards early on, but you know what? If we can afford it, we're still making a little cash. Maybe we should just stick with it. I've also got these Dark Riders. Really good units early on to run down routing units and get in behind a fight and just kind of unload on any of the infantry fighting. A couple, some Bleak Swords here actually would probably be a nice addition to kind of round out this army. Don't really want to see Clan Rictus either. I'll have to fix them. Let's go back just a few because we're close to Clan Rictus. See how fast it goes. There's Clan Rictus off. Because I'm not really concerned what Clan Rictus is doing. They're across the map. It's nice that they added that feature too, but Nagron's probably getting its butt kicked, to be honest. That's happened in a couple of my early campaigns here. Red Cloud is destroyed. That was the Greenskin faction that was previously here. It's good news for us. If they're not around, that's one less enemy that we have to deal with, and I'm pretty happy about that. This is the upgrade tree for Malinur, the Hand of Wrath. He has lots of pretty awesome stuff here. He can slow the slave decline. We can make his own personal stats better, which I definitely like to. Hard to hit. His melee attack's actually pretty crappy. It's one of his downsides, so it's one that I kind of like to buff relatively early on. Our Sorceress, we'll just go ahead and spend a point on Fireball. And I'm going to move my Black Arc north a little so that it can support as we move towards Flayed Rock.
Shut up, demon!
Shut up, demon! I'm going to try and move to where I can... Oh, really? 50%? Whatever. Local effects. I don't know why we're not replenishing. Oh, does this help? There, that pushed us over the edge. There, we can continue to replenish a little. Vicious Gobspits, like, camped out here. We're not at war with them. He may be at war... He's at war with Clan Angron. Very strange. Like, he's not at war with Clan Eshin. Let's see if Clan Eshin's here.
I am all too aware of the deceit and treachery of the...
He's at war with Karak Azul and wants military access. What makes him think that I would give him such things? His strength rank is lower than ours, which I think puts us in a good position to take him out. So it'll be our challenge for this episode, is to eliminate Deathmaster Snitch.
Shut up, demon!
Yeah, shut up, demon. I don't want to attack the Skull Takers. I want to go to these ruins, but it's not ruins. Indeed, it is Skaven. Ooh, he's not here to defend it either.
Pretend I didn't hear that.
I don't know where his army's at, but let's take his settlement.
Rise up, warriors!
I'm gonna fight this so we can try and minimize casualties, take on some more territory here. The Battle of Flayed Rock shouldn't be a terribly difficult battle for us here, but sometimes you gotta go do these personally if you don't want the AI to just get wrecked. Believe we can send a couple units to break down a gate. I'll use my crossbows as a bit of a missile cover here. Got quite a few missile capabilities. I'm gonna kind of focus my units over here so that only so many towers can be firing at me at any one given time. Start the battle. Push forward with my units. Let's get up here and get my dark shards in range to kind of help hold back some of the missile units on the walls. So I'm gonna park right outside their range. My range is only 125, theirs is 120, so we're gonna both be in range of each other. You can't underestimate some of these units for they're Skaven slave slingers, thank goodness. Because they get armor-piercing damage on certain slinger units. It's quite brutal, actually. Let's push up to support our infantry. There's our summons, of course. Gonna kind of do an annoying summons. We gotta watch out not to blob on the summons, because they will sometimes use like some kind of special bomb ability on it where they basically blow it up when it gets down to a certain health level. I'm just gonna pull my crossbows back. They're gonna continue to summon however many they have. They'll summon it on my dark shards every single time. So I'll use my leadership. Let's send our Bloodrack Medusa to start breaking the gate down. They don't have their storm vermin on the walls, thank goodness. We do have some special abilities here. I'm going to save it for the storm vermin, though. But we're not going to be inside yet, so we can go ahead and use... actually, some of these work on walls, some do not. Don't hit my own guys, don't hit my own guys. There we go, that worked out. Oh, that warp lightning. It's brutal. I don't see any more. Yeah, they summoned one out here in the middle of my crossbow. Dadgummit, I hate Skaven summons. I gotta pay closer attention to my notifications there. So that's unfortunate for me, but that's how it rolls. Let's get out of the zone of that tower. It's wreaking havoc on us. The gates aren't nearly ready for us to break through. Let's just take control of these towers. Only fight the units in the gate. I don't want to go down to the storm vermin. Good night. More summons. Let's get rid of these summons real quick. They haven't used the ability that kind of turns that summon into a bomb, so I'm feeling a little bit safer here. Let's get some units ready to go through the gates. Of course, I get an attack order where my guys just walk forward. That's something they need to fix. It's been in the game for a long time where you'll click an attack order with your missiles, and even though they're in range and even though they can fire, they'll walk forward because of something weird about the... I don't know what they're doing here. Let's shoot these things up real quick. Well, they got a lot of summons. They really used up some food on it. Gates are at 70%. Some of the storm vermin came up on the walls, so actually both units came up on the walls. That's not good. Have to use some of our Black Arc support on it. Try and beat up these storm vermin as best I can. Gates are almost down. Let's get up here. Send another unit up the walls here. And then let's get our remaining infantry ready to go through the gates. Getting some decent fire here with my dark shards. I'm going to reposition them right in front of the gate. What is going on with this storm vermin? It's like just running away from my troops. That warp lightning's going to be bad. Fighting Skaven in a siege battle is actually just kind of atrocious because of the warp lightning. And even though the power bar is like completely stacked against these folks, are we gonna break this gate? Like, I actually want you to break. I guess they stopped attacking the gate. Did one of my units like clip through it? Yeah. Yeah, one of my units clipped through the gate. This kind of crap happens. Here's the Warlock Engineer. Let's kill him. We're lucky that all those storm vermin weren't still there. Speaking of storm vermin, we got a little bit of an infestation going on up here on the walls. I'm gonna see how hard we can hit these units. Yep, there we go. We broke the leadership. It wasn't a trivial fight. I'm gonna bombard my own guys in an attempt to just get rid of these storm vermin once and for all. See those black arc bombardments? Pretty effective. That's why I wanted that black arc close. He's got this bloodlust that we can use when we need to also. So success against Clan Eshin. We'll take their settlement here. I don't believe they have another settlement. They might, because we wouldn't be able to tell. It would just look like ruins to us. That may be what the other settlement in this province is, because there is one that is ruins. We can sack it, get a whole bunch of money. We can loot it and occupy it, which I think is what I'm going to do. We get a bunch of slaves. We get some replenishment, we get some money. We'll end up spending quite a bit of that money to rebuild stuff here, but it is what it is. Well, we're going to spend all of it and then some if we want to keep some of the stuff. Now, we don't need this building here. It's doubling this one, and it's only goes up to tier 3 anyway. Public order and growth, casualty replenishment, all these things could be handy. We'll get 1,200 for the demolishing of that building. Wow, we are definitely not even going to hardly break even on that looting, but whatever. Still feels good to loot. Gotta loot. Burning Head could actually be very, very good for us early on here too. As will Kindle Flame, because that'll just improve how much Burning Head's going to hurt people. You can see we're getting some good replenishment. We're at now 2 possession per turn, so only one more turn before we really can't replenish, and we're going to have to pay for an elixir, which is now 1,575 gold. So that's one of the challenges of this campaign. It's just a constant leech on your gold. Huge leech on your gold. Definitely can be a point of frustration. I don't really know what else to build here other than maybe some defenses. Growth. Income from trade when we do get to trade. Income from slaves. I mean, this could be handy to have here, because I don't really know that we need defenses. It's a pretty backwater type of settlement back here.
Cease your provocations.
Cease my provocations.
This is not the time, Zarkon.
Yeah, leave me out of it, demon. There is Clan Eshin. So, Pig Barter is probably under their control. I'll bet they were fighting. No, it didn't say they were at war, then they may have had peace. This is still not Snitch, though, so I don't know if Snitch is in yet another army, or if he was defeated at someone else's hands. I don't need strength when fighting against the High Elves right now. We could open up this line for the Sea Dragon Cloak, or work on the Blue Chain, or something else like that, but I think I'd like to work on some of these here. 10 melee defense until you transform is actually a big deal. It'll make him very difficult to hit, and then stock could be useful too. So I'm going to go through that line there. Let's push forward, and these Skaven may go ahead and destroy Haunted Forest. It's just reality of what could happen. I'm going to put some defenses here. We're going to add this Slave Gate. Flayed Rock. We can look to our next thing here. Harpies, that won't really help me. Naval training could be okay. Okay, I mean, nothing. This is probably going to be as useful as anything else. We do have a couple of rites that we could perform. We could go 15 turns of higher casualty replenishment at the loss of some slaves, and we get Dark Conduit, which is a huge explosion that's very helpful in battle. We also get a lot more post-battle loot. I feel like for the sacrifice of 375 slaves, this is totally worth it. could help us very much in a fight against Clan Eshin right now. Here they are. We've intercepted them in the underway, and we'll have our army ability to be along with us. Yeah, this has definitely been an interesting campaign so far. It's very challenging in terms of money. I have struggled with money. There's possibly a better way, obviously, that I haven't figured out. I've only gotten to play a couple of times early on in this campaign, and it's definitely, like I said, every time it's been a money challenge. I'm gonna stack my infantry up here in a hard group. Lead with dark shards. I'm gonna show you all some of the power of Malus. I did pick up a healing potion with him, which is a very fortunate find because everything he does damages himself. So this is a very nice option to really help improve Malus. There's really not a lot of way that I can be skirmishing with these troops. I can try and pull them forward a little, but it's not going to work well. Got our Scourge Runner Chariot and Cold One Knights out here as well. I am going to run them up a flank. I'm going to send our Bloodrack Medusa. Actually, the Bloodrack Medusa, I'm going to stick it right here with our infantry because of its ability to cause terror.
Servant of Hecate, sorceress of Grond,
Tyrant of battle, Dark Blade.
Okay, here we go. Let's go take out Clan Eshin.
Going onward.
All of our support abilities. What's funny is that we can get bombardment support from the Black Ark, but well, you know what? There's magic in Warhammer, so magic. That's how it works. Doesn't matter the fact that it's going to be shooting through a roof, okay? Magic. Just cuz. Let's actually fall back. Can we get some shots? Yeah, we can get some shots in these Skaven slaves. They're not focused on me at the moment. Let's show off the true power of Malus Darknlade. And these Scourge Runner Chariots, have some fun with them.
Over there. Forward. Get going. Leaving.
Of course, we got a summons.
Dread spears.
seeking victims. Swiftly.
Actually gonna just ignore that summons. It's a fair ways behind me.
Once. Slay them. Whatever it takes. To their grave.
Try and get Malus in here.
To their grave.
Use some of his abilities.
I go forth.
I'll put a bit of a hurt on him. You can see that he's got massive weapon damage right now. And these Scourge Runner Chariots are really fantastic versus cheap infantry. See, they've already racked up 43 kills. They're good against large, but there's not really any large targets. I like using Malus to cause this blob that you're seeing here.
Slay them. Slaughter them. Without question.
Oh, my summons.
Moving out.
Sister of the Dark Convent.
Watch this, folks. How about a burning head and a special bombardment here? How come I can't use the bombardment? Oh, it has to be used on an ally. There we go. Yeah, that burning head, 125 kills. Here comes, yeah, just a Skaven bloodbath.
I can.
That is how you take out the Skaven army. One massive burning head.
No fear.
One of those abilities obviously causes a countdown, so I'm not able to use the healing potion before we get back, which is unfortunate. Look at that, 85 kills on the Scourge Runner Chariots, just cleaning stuff up for me. Take it, it's absolutely awesome. Scourge Runner Chariots are quickly becoming a favorite of mine. Like when I fought those Lizardmen early, they were very good against Croxagores. They were good against Bastiladons or Stegodons. Very nice units to have, and then great at cleaning up infantry in the late game. In this case, it was very cheap infantry, so great at cleaning up infantry anytime I want. I go with the unit replenishment here, because we may have to fight again soon. Oh, these turn-ins, like it makes Mortal Empires a whole new experience, and it is fantastic. Turn-ins are so much faster. I hope they continue to do more of this. So Razor sack these settlements, and we get Nagaira here. Woo! That is a lot of nice winds of magic. So you can see we're actually fully replenished here, which is pretty dang awesome. I'm going to continue with Blade Masters so that he can get more hits in. I'm going to go with the next level of Burning Head because it cuts the cooldown. And then let's go see if there is another Skaven settlement over here. And then we're just about out of time for this episode. Yeah, keep this Black Art close so that we get that support. We'll have to move it forward just a bit further to Pig Barter. I'm going to just kind of stack some money here and head on into the next turn. Just using the Black Arc right now for fire support. It definitely has a lot more uses, especially if you're looking to go out and take some port settlements, but you got to have some money first. In order for me to get money, I need a port settlement bad. There's not any in my immediate vicinity at the moment, which is unfortunate. Still not Snitch. Still haven't spotted that little coward rat. I'm actually gonna tear this down, put it in the other settlement. Ooh, that costs too much.
Make it stop! Make it stop!
Don't tear it down. I'm just gonna keep it. I need it there for now. Admiral Leech. Let's push forward. Make sure we provide the fire support needed here. And we will take Pig Barter. Pig Barter from a rat. It's possible that Snitch is out on a mission, because he's not here.
Spare none.
Yeah, spare none. It's my Pig Barter now.
Glorious carnage.
Spare me. I shall Warpstone.
I'm just gonna occupy the money. We're just gonna end up spending it elsewhere. I can't replenish, of course, because Zarkon is taking me over. I'm gonna use this pain tolerance and then lying in wait. Should be some nice stuff to have. And then with the Hand of Wrath here, ooh, a cold one Chariot. It changes him to be good against infantry, though. I don't know. This Dark Pegasus is really cool. It loses a shield, but gets even more charge bonus and speed and retains his current damage levels. That's actually pretty dang awesome. Let's go with Dark Pegasus for a while. I think you can change their mount anyway in case we ever decided that we wanted to. Burning Head here will reduce the Winds of Magic cost. I'm going to just keep spinning. Well, you know what? Let's spin it on Candle Flame, because this helps extra damage for the fire that comes through. We're going to have to get an elixir if we want to replenish, so goodbye gold.
How much more must I endure?
As long as I say, Malus. As long as I say. I'm going to have a rebellion here too at Flayed Rock, because of all the Skaven stench left over. Anyway, I'm pretty much out of time here. Let's see if we can take out Clan Eshin. They probably ran away. Yeah, they're Skaven. They did what Skaven gonna do. They ran off. Pig Barter will get taken from me on the flip side of this. Anyway, hopefully you all enjoyed a quick look at the early campaign with Malus Darknlade. It is a lot of fun. It has some very unique challenges and unique feel to it because of the mechanics that have been added. And we're going to continue learning more about it and see if we can deal with Zarkon. I will see you next time with some more look into the Shadow and Blade DLC. HeirofCarthage, signing out.